When do you actually know it's time to leave America? Not talk about it, not plan it, but really go. Because according to one former diplomat and another viral TikToker calling the US the Titanic, that time might already be here. Today, we're reacting to two videos that have been blowing up on TikTok, both talking about the same chilling idea: what happens when the world starts telling America it's time to get out. One of them's a former US diplomat who's literally trained to spot global collapse patterns. The other, a creator comparing America's downfall to the Titanic. And honestly, they both make some scary sense. So get ready, because in this video, we're breaking down the exact signs that might be time to pack your bags before the last flight leaves.
When is it time to go? When is it time to leave? How do we know that it's time to go? These are the questions that I've been getting on my TikTok. My name is LaShawn. I'm a diplomat, and I've been talking about what's happening here in the United States. Well, specifically getting out, right? And using the go bag and conversations about go back as a proxy to be prepared for a crisis. What I feel is the inevitable series of crises here in the United States. And the question that I always get all the time is, how do I know? How do I know when it's time to go? What is the linchpin? What is the key? What is the thing that when it happens, I know it's time to get up, get my shit and get out, right? And there's no clear answer that is the same for everybody. I say in all of my videos, it depends, right? But I've been pondering this particular question for weeks, and it dawned on me that I've been sitting on the answer for a really long time. And it's a two-parter. The first part is when other nation states tell their citizens that it's time to go. When other nation states tell their citizens that, commercial flights may not be available in the near future, and you should make your way on a commercial flight as soon as humanly possible back to your country of origin, right? Now, this has happened in recent memory here in the United States. It was during the COVID pandemic, right? At the very top of the COVID pandemic, March, April of 2020, other nation states, particularly, nation states within the European Union, were telling their citizens, get on a plane quickly, because we do not know how long commercial flights are going to be available, right? So we've seen this happen in real life. And then we've seen commercial flights to the European Union be basically shut down, right? As a function of a legitimate, genuine global crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic, right? So it's not that we haven't seen this before. We've seen it before, and we've seen the hallmarks of what that looks like. So the first thing that they're going to do is say, get on the very first commercial flights, like do it now, do it quickly, right? The second thing that they're going to do is they're going to offer repatriation flights. This is going to be the second and the last thing, right? There are only so many repatriation flights. We're going to try anybody who is, is a citizen of our country who, wants to come back. We will have, at cost, repatriation flights for our citizens and the families of our citizens, right? Now, for people who are Americans trying to flee, that's the point where it's too late, right? At the point where countries are offering repatriation flights, it means that commercial flights are no longer available, right? So you are looking for, if you're looking for like the very last moment where you're trying to like make a decision, or you're nervous, you don't know what's going on, you don't know how to like parse through all the signals that we're getting from various sectors of, U.S. government, U.S. society, right? Like other nation states saying, get on these on the very first commercial flight, because they might be the last. That's your signal. That is the last signal for people who have passports to other countries, right? Your last signal is getting on the repatriation flight. I would not wait that long. I wouldn't wait for third countries or other nation states to say, get on these commercial flights, because they may be the last. I personally, for my risk profile, I think that's way too late, right? But there's still an opportunity for you to get out. But if you're doing that and you're getting out en masse, you risk a lot. You risk flights being terribly expensive. You risk being turned away at the border. You risk not being prepared in the way that you want to and should be prepared, because we're thinking about this crisis or series of crises in advance, right? But once again, for those of you who have been asking me, what is the thing? What is the linchpin? What's the key? What is the thing that we can point to say, like, it's time to go for real? It's other countries saying that to their citizens, it's time to go. And you'll see notices on, like, the travel sites for Canada, Mexico, the United Kingdom, European Union countries. They will put these out. You can even sign up for updates from a lot of these countries, where they will send messages to their citizens saying, like, look, it's time to go. You will also hopefully see, either here on TikTok for the people that do the news here on TikTok, or hopefully like on the news channels, the extent to which like real news exists anymore, you'll also see it there. But I would go to like kind of Travel Canada or Travel EU or Travel Germany or Travel France, wherever, and use that as like a baseline, right? Because once they start telling their citizens to get up and go on commercial flights, you don't have much time. It's time. At the point where you see that, buy your ticket in that moment, head to the airport with what you have, and go with God.
Now, personally, I don't think that will ever happen, but if it just happens, I still think it will be too late by then. I don't even think they'll probably let the Americans leave if it gets that severe and that serious.
America's the Titanic, but go ahead, finish your Netflix show. I keep hearing people say, like, once it gets really bad, then I'll leave. Like, governments around the world are just waiting to welcome millions of Americans who show up at the same time, like it's Black Friday at Walmart. The thing is, once it does get really bad, the doors will already be closing. Countries will start tightening restrictions, raising costs. They'll basically say, sorry, we're full, can't take you. So you can wait. You can continue living your life as if nothing's changed. And every day that you think you have time, your options will shrink. The I'll leave later plan isn't a strategy more than it's a luxury that you don't actually have. But who needs an escape plan when you can just vibe, and hope that there's a few lifeboats left once the water finally reaches your ankles. Not to be too melodramatic about it, I'm just saying.
But I do recommend start making plans to live in a country that treats you better. If you are not happy in the States, you are stressed, you are not happy with the way things are going, then leave. But if you're happy with the way things are, you can put up with the negatives, then stay. So you really need to look on the internet. You really need to find a country that you feel will treat you best. If you have the money, live there for a couple of months and see if you like it. Go to another country, live there, see if you like it. But not everyone can have that, especially if you have kids and you have family. Then find a country where you feel, do as much research as you can, watch as much vlogs, look at the good, look at the bad, and then ask yourself, can I stay there? And then stay there for 6 months. And look, you might not like it. I remember when I first moved to Puerto Morelos in Mexico, I did not like it. For 6 months, I did not like it. But after that 6 months, boy, I loved it. I didn't want to leave. I did not want to leave Mexico. Eventually, I did leave in Mexico because I just saw some things that made me make that decision of, you know what, I feel like I can get better elsewhere. And the funny thing is, I am going back to Mexico sometime next month, but I'm going to a whole different area of Mexico, not the tourist trap Playa del Carmen or Puerto Morelos. I won't be staying there.